What if I told you that the world's first computer secrets weren't found in Silicon Valley, but in a stack of forgotten letters written by a 19th century woman almost no one believed? Letters so advanced, so prophetic, that modern AI researchers say they shouldn't exist for the time they were written. Today we open those letters, and what we uncover changes everything you thought you knew about the birth of computing. This is episode 3. Ada Lovelace had already seen the future once. She predicted that Charles Babbage's analytical engine could create music, art, and ideas long before computers even existed. But what the world didn't know was that Ada didn't stop there. In the years after her famous notes were published, she worked in secret, pushing her theories deeper, writing to mathematicians, engineers, and philosophers, trying to shape a future that no one else could even imagine. These letters are what we're exploring today, and they reveal a version of Ada that the world has never fully understood. Not just a visionary, but a revolutionary. It begins in the winter of 1843. Ada Lovelace sits alone at her desk, surrounded by diagrams, gears, and pages of machine logic. The analytical engine is unfinished. Babbage is frustrated. The money is gone. And society has already decided that Ada's role in this story is finished. But for Ada, it's only the beginning. She writes a letter to her mentor, Augustus de Morgan, one of the greatest mathematicians of her time. In it, she describes something no Victorian scientist had ever written down before: a machine that could modify its own instructions. A machine that could learn. This was in the 1840s. Her words were just ahead of her time. They were bordering on science fiction. Ada wrote that machines might one day operate on abstract mental objects, not just numbers, not just equations, but ideas. She was predicting the concept of symbolic AI, a full 120 years early. This wasn't programming. This was proto-AI philosophy. And she was writing it all alone in a world that didn't want to hear it. But Ada didn't stop there. In another letter, she pushes an idea even further. She suggests that machines might one day compose elaborate and scientific pieces of music based on rules, patterns, and even emotional structure. This wasn't about generating random notes. This was algorithmic composition, what today we call AI-generated music. Think about that for a second. A Victorian woman, writing by candlelight, predicted something that wouldn't truly exist until the 21st century. And yet, no one listened. Many scientists dismissed her as too imaginative, too poetic, even dangerously ambitious. Some even mocked her ideas as nothing more than feminine fantasies. But Ada kept writing. By 1844, her secret notebooks were filled with theories that looked nothing like the mathematics of her era. Instead, they resembled early blueprints for concepts like machine logic, conditional branching, recursive patterns, symbol transformation, and even predictive modeling. On one page, later discovered by historians, Ada writes about a machine that could trace the consequences of any assumptions. Today, we call that computational simulation. She imagined it in her 30s, without electronics, without any existing models, and without precedent. She wasn't just recording history. She was inventing the discipline of computational thinking itself. But everything changed when Ada attempted the one project no one expected. She wanted to create her own mathematical model, a system of equations so complex that it challenged the very boundaries of logic at the time. Her goal? To prove that machines could assist with ideas far beyond human capability. Not just calculation, but creativity. She wanted to demonstrate the analytical engine's true potential, even if the machine itself didn't physically exist yet. And to do it, she needed data that no one could provide. So she wrote again and again to Babbage. But Babbage was slipping away. His financial troubles consumed him. His temper grew worse. His relationship with Ada became strained. He admired her genius, but he also feared her influence. Because Ada wasn't just interpreting his machine anymore. She was surpassing it. Her vision of computing had outgrown the inventor of the very machine she studied. Yet the world outside knew nothing of this. Ada's personal life began to unravel as her health declined. She faced scandalous rumors, dark whispers, and mounting financial debts. And yet, through all the chaos, she kept writing to one man, the brilliant scientist William Rowan Hamilton. In her letters to Hamilton, Ada describes a theory that would shock modern AI researchers. She suggests that machines might one day form connections between concepts, learning patterns in the same way the human brain does. It's a description eerily close to the concept of neural networks. She didn't call it that, of course. The term wouldn't be coined for another century. But the idea was unmistakable. Ada Lovelace wasn't writing about mechanical engines anymore. She was writing about thinking machines. But these groundbreaking ideas came at a tremendous personal cost. Ada's health worsened. Pain became a constant companion. The medication she took blurred her mind. Her family pressured her to abandon her studies. Society judged her for being too intellectual, too unfeminine, too bold. And slowly, painfully, her work began to slow down. But she never stopped. In her final notebooks, found years after her death, Ada writes something haunting. "If you cannot give me poetry, give me science. It is the poetry of the universe." Even at the very end, Ada saw no boundary between imagination and mathematics. To her, they were the same thing, the foundation of everything. When Ada Lovelace died in 1852, she left behind a wealth of ideas the world wouldn't be ready to understand for another century. Her letters were archived. Her notebooks were sealed away. Her incredible predictions were ignored. Until the 1940s, early computer pioneers rediscovered her notes while working on the first modern computers, and they were stunned. All the ideas they believed they had just invented had already been imagined by a woman who lived before electricity. A woman who predicted programming, predicted symbolic computation, predicted creative machines, predicted artificial intelligence. A woman the world had completely forgotten, until now. Ada Lovelace wasn't ahead of her time. Her time simply hadn't caught up. But now, in the age of AI, digital creativity, and machine intelligence, we finally understand what she saw. And this is only the beginning. Because in episode 4, we uncover the lost documents that reveal Ada's final, unfinished project. A project so mysterious that historians still debate what she intended. Subscribe, share, and join us for the next chapter of Legends of Genius, where forgotten minds change the world all over again.